Hey, Star students, welcome back to the Astro Study Room. I'm Ember Faye, your friendly neighborhood fire fairy witch.
And I'm Jordan, a university librarian by day and a dedicated astrology student by night. And yes, welcome back to the Astro Study Room.
Yes, I'm a university librarian with a new job, baby.
I know,
Let's
I
go,
graduated. I'm
Jordan.
actually a university librarian now.
She's always been a university librarian, but now she's like faculty. Is that it, Jordan?
Yeah,
Like
now I
you're
am a
like
faculty
you're
librarian.
faculty. Yes, that's amazing. Oh, I love you. Congrats, girl. Our goal for this podcast is to feel like a group of badass students of all levels gathering to explore, reflect, question, and connect with the cosmos. No matter where you're at in your spiritual or astrology journey, learning is a forever game. Growth is cyclical and curiosity is sacred. And we are so happy you're here to wander around the universe with us. So if you'd like, grab your notes and pens or just bring yourself and an open mind.
So, whether you identify as an astrologer, a witch, a wizard, a mystic, a spiritual seeker, or simply a curious human, you belong here. This is a study room for everyone and for all of it. Every other Tuesday, we'll be exploring different astrology and spiritual topics, sometimes teaching, sometimes reflecting, and sometimes just chatting and wondering out loud together. If you're into it, we'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and just know you can always come hang out with us in the study room.
You can follow us at the Astro Study Room on Instagram and TikTok. And as a reminder, the Astro Study Room is live on YouTube. So if you're more of a visual person, come check our beautiful faces out there. Jordan, do you want to let our listeners know how they can get an incredible astrology reading with you?
Yes, I do natal chart and solar return consultations where we can talk about what your soul intends for you for this lifetime. And I also offer cosmic check ins where we can talk about any current transits going on, or if you want any dedicated time to ask any questions about your chart or any certain placements or transits happening currently. What are you offering, Ember?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube under Ember Fame Magic, and you can sign up for my newsletter, The Pleasure Pages, or take my free quiz on discovering your sensual shadow archetype. And speaking of my quiz, I do have some amazing archetype workbooks that I have created to help you dive deeper into these shadows that are available at my website, which is linked in the show notes or on my socials.
Okay, so you just got back from Greece. What's like one sentence that comes to mind? I know. How can you sum
Oh
up this
man.
whole trip?
I mean, one sentence would probably be like the most magical ancient land I feel like I've been on. It was just the nature was beautiful. We went to like we were in the mountains, we were in caves, we were in the sea. The community I did a retreat with Seeking Numina. Um,
Woo woo woo.
and yeah, it was amazing. Like if you've ever thought about doing a retreat in general, but especially like with Seeking Numina with Elise in Greece, like she truly knows the land there. Like it was very obvious. Like she took us to places that I'm sure no tourist ever goes to. Um, it was really
Did it
magical.
feel
And I'm
private?
yeah. I mean,
Cool.
there were some like local people there and they kind of were like, what are you doing? And then just kind of left. But there was no joke. Like at the ticketed sites, the security there was crazy. Like I got yelled at so many times. One time I got yelled at because I was like leaning against a rock that was literally just a rock. This was at the Temple of Poseidon. It wasn't like special granite, but like I don't know if he thought I was praying or what. And I got in trouble and yelled at for that. I got
That's
yelled at
scary.
because it was just weird, but they like don't do anything. They just like whistle at you and I don't
Like, get
know.
out of the
It's
pool.
yeah, it was
No running on the
crazy.
sidewalk.
Like that was weird. No, it was such a beautiful place and time and I'm still I think integrating a lot of it and
Yeah.
I'm yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It was amazing. I'm sure like stories will come up in later episodes. I just like don't there's like so much to say that I don't even know what to say.
That's fair. Because you really just got back very recently.
I did like a few
Yeah.
days ago. So I'm
Yeah.
still like, and I just went back to work today for the first time. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah, we had like a loss in the family. So like we got
Things
funeral
are really
stuff
heavy
this
for you
weekend.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're talking cancer and that's very exciting to
That
me.
is the home for emotions. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh yeah, it is the home for emotions. I'm just like, It's my sun sign.
It's
Yay!
almost my birthday.
It's almost my birthday. Oh my goodness. Are you ready, Star students? Because we are. We are going to buckle up. Class is officially out and the study room is in session.
Okay, Ember, can you tell us about the full moon in Capricorn coming up?
Yes, so our next full moon is the strawberry moon in Capricorn on June 29th at 7:57
Was this the
p.m.
first full moon that we did an episode with? We'll have to look back on that,
Probably.
but this probably was. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
I almost had this weird like deja vu moment of like strawberry moon and Capricorn and like yeah. Anyway,
Oh. Wait, cute. Oh my God, do you like my bi pride nails, by the
I
way? Look at
do. They are
these. Oh,
very
that's so
cute.
cute. Um, so the reason this is the strawberry moon, this is when strawberries were harvested, which is really funny actually that I put this in there because if this was the first full moon that we talked about, I used to always talk about like the colloquial name for the moon,
Yeah.
and talk about why it was called that. And I felt called to do that for this, which I haven't
Yeah.
been doing. So that's really funny.
That might have been why it felt deja vu-y too.
Yeah, so it's in Capricorn, and Capricorn is really aligned with some of the themes that we'll be discussing with Cancer, but it's going to be in this like earthy, grounded, secure way, right? You have Cancer, which is working on security in the home, and Capricorn is really going to be a lot about putting the structures and the practicalities that are going to like keep that home secure. So they are, they're opposites of each other in that way. And so for this full moon, this could be a really great time to focus on maybe like what you're ready to commit to get going on that life that you dream about. So the sun is in Cancer, a big focus on what's nourishing you, bringing in safety, what feels like home to you. And so with this Capricorn full moon, that expression can really be like, what is it going to look like? What structures do we need to get there? And so to support our emotional well-being and ensure that we aren't sacrificing it, right? Like a great journal prompt here for this moon might be, what am I building to support my emotional well-being? And I loved like this one, like what my future self would thank me for if I started it today, right? Like that Capricorn motivation, hard work. So happy full moon. And also I was like, I'm gonna eat some strawberries for this full moon because why not?
Yeah, I love that. And you touched on a few things we're going to talk about later with the Capricorn Cancer axis too.
Hell yeah. Let's get into Cancer here. So, as we go through the zodiac sign, this is your reminder that we do all have the signs in our chart, with each sign occupying a house based on your rising sign. So, take a look at your chart, see what house Cancer is in for you, and then go the step further and notice if you have any planets in there, because this episode will be able to inform you about those aspects of your life. And so, with that being said, Jordan, can we talk about like what makes up a Cancer?
Yeah, so Cancer is our feminine cardinal water sign ruled by the moon. So, as always, before I go into the keywords, Ember, I'm going to ask you, what is your current impression of Cancer? And as you said, this is your sun sign, so I imagine you probably do have some information already that you know about
I
Cancer.
do. Yeah, I do. And I don't know. Yeah, it's an emotional sign. No, Jordan, can you also remind everyone what cardinal means?
Yeah, cardinal is the quality that establishes. It's the one that starts something. Not necessarily the one that finishes it out, though.
Hell yeah, because that makes sense, right? Because this is the first water sign, so it's our
It doesn't
cardinal.
necessarily follow that because we have Taurus, which is fixed, but that's the first Earth sign. So it just goes in order. It goes cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. So this is now our second cardinal sign that we're talking about, but our first water sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cute. Just like the
It,
yeah.
yeah, that is correct. No, I know that it is like a very, I don't know, Cancer, I think is it being the first water sign, I do think, and it being like a cardinal sign, it's a very, I don't know, I think Cancer is like the most primal water sign. Like it's really, they're badasses. We just like know what love is and we know what it means to love and be loved. And we are so incredibly strong intuitively and very compassionate. I keep saying we. Like, we are so compassionate. Um, and, not only are we those things, but we express them through our actions. And so I think that's a lot of like the movie, like that's a little bit of cardinal energy where like, acts of service could really be a love language for a Cancer to show up fully for the people they love. And I know that people can be like, oh, Cancers are too emotional, we're too sensitive. But I do think a Cancer knows how to show up and control the emotions and bottle it up if needed because like especially if we need to protect something or someone that we love, like we can step the up and be like, yo, like put our own emotions to the side. I
I
do
want to say
think,
something on that too, because
oh yeah,
like kind of like a funny archetype people have with Cancer is like strong mama bear energy. Like you were saying, they can bottle it up when they need to because, like a Cancer, like if someone, just with the typical example, if someone was like attacking their child, they're not gonna have a panic attack. They're gonna do what they have to do to
no,
protect the
no,
child.
shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. No, I think that's so accurate for like that mama bear energy for sure. And I do, being ruled by the moon, we like I do think our emotions can be like very changeable because the moon changes a lot and so I do think that's a thing too where we can go from like I think a Cancer can be a lot to take in if you are like not used to emotions changing. And I just feel like, you know, the Cancer is this mother archetype, but it's so much more than that because it's also like a teacher and a nurturer and a coach. And like we're really good at offering words of affirmation, and especially if it's going to support somebody. And I just think that we're here to support and love. And obviously, there's a shadow around that we can definitely like not over emotion ourselves, but we can like over commit. It's not even like a commitment, it's like an over involve ourselves.
Okay.
There's word I'm looking for that I can't think about. But anyway, we can over involve ourselves in things and like get really emotionally exhausted from it. But I think, I don't know. I like Cancer.
Yeah, that was interesting because I think that is probably the most you've had to say for any of the like the prefaces. Um, so I thought we would just go into the keywords. So a few for Cancer. I'm not gonna list as many as I usually do because I feel like that kind of gets out of hand. Cancer is nurturing, maternal. Oh, also everyone get your pens and highlighters and notepads out and everything. Nurturing, caring, maternal, yes, emotional, intuitive, a bit restless at times. There's kind of like a timidness sometimes that is associated with Cancer. I haven't really found that, to be honest.
Me either.
Yeah. If anything, I think it's not timidness. If anything, I think it's an introvertedness. If anything, that's what
I
I feel
like
like.
that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes more sense to me. This is another one. I guess domestic is one that's often associated with Cancer. Tenacious. I like that one for Cancer.
Tenacious. I know what tenacious means, but what does tenacious mean? Like, what is like
Like
a synonym for tenacious?
resilient, but like in
Yeah.
a oomph kind of way.
Oomph.
Like
That makes
there's
sense.
some punch behind the resilience, I guess. Oh, nostalgic. Nostalgic is a big one.
Like when I told you I cried because I couldn't go to the fairy realm again. The nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean that soul's nostalgia too, and your sun is your soul.
Sad. Anyway,
Like a Cancer.
like a Cancer. Okay, cool. So, as far as the glyph goes, Glyphs we've talked about before. They can be used for sigils, spell work. You can meditate to try to access like some Cancer energy here. But your Cancer glyph is going to be two circles with kind of commas facing each other. I've always seen it as a 6 and a 9, like
Mhm.
69, like on top of each other. Um, some people say it looks like the body of a crab. Do you see that, Jordan? I like can't see
I
that.
see it as much as I see all the other ones. Like it's like the two eyes of a crab, I guess, and then like claws. Should be like yeet. My shoulder
The
pops every
crab's just
time.
like boop.
Yeah.
I've always definitely thought of it. So I've seen the 69. I've also thought of it as like a moon with the tide. Like that was like my brain.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That felt
That's
very
a cool one.
Cancerian.
I like that one.
I think some people have talked about it also as like the relationship between like the sun and the moon, maybe. Like the rays and the moon. But what I do like about it is that it creates this like container. You know,
Hmm. A womb
we have our
space.
upper and our lower, yeah. And so it creates this container. So the circle in the astrological glyph world means spirit. And so it's like a container for spirit. And I do think that's really cute because it's like what
Yeah.
Cancer does is like this little container for spirit and
I
home.
do like that one. Yeah, especially because I think I believe Cancer does rule. I well, because I guess the moon does too. I can't remember if Cancer also rules the womb space or if it's just the moon. But anyway, I like that connection.
I think it would be related.
Yeah.
It'd be
So,
related.
what do you think the astrology statement is?
The power statement, the embodiment statement.
The magical
It has to
statement?
be I feel. Like I don't know what else it would
It
be.
is, I feel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have with Aries, we have I am, and then I have, and then I think, and then I feel. And I
Aw.
have been directed not to spoil the other ones until
Yeah,
we get
no, we
there.
can't. But also I'm like, that seems like it. That seems like all of them. What else can we do? But
Oh,
anyway.
it is. Honestly, give me your reactions on that, and you can take a second to think about this. But like, as we
Okay.
continue with this series, because you don't already know these, as we just now added, I feel. What is like your intuitive reflection on I am, I have, I think, I feel in that order, in that sequential order?
I am, I have, I think, I feel. It's almost like going deeper and deeper in. Like it's interesting. And so I'll be interested to see what happens when we like come around again
Yeah,
to another fire sign because it's like you start with like
that'll be
I
next.
am. Yeah, I'm like you're I am, right? It's like I picture like somebody getting plopped into this like universe and being like, boop, I exist.
Yeah.
And then it's like I have, and it's like, okay, I have hands and feet and like I am thing. And then like I think it's like starting to develop these thoughts and now I feel oh my God, is this like what AI is gonna feel like? Like I just
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Damn.
um but yeah, so I think it's like it seems like it's like this journey um of self and like self-recognition, but I don't know. I'll be
Self recognition. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
And yeah.
this also goes into I think what you talked about, and you'll have to remind me what these are again, where like the groups, like these quadrants, aren't there like quadrants where it's like
Yeah, there's quadrants in the houses.
yeah, so if we're talking about natural houses, then that what's the first quadrant again?
That is the oh god, internal
Is it
and
internal,
self.
internal? Yeah,
Internal
internal
self,
and
yeah.
self. Yeah. So I wonder if it'll come back to that because these are all like internal self. It's like, right, I exist, I think, I feel these things. So like I wonder as we go through these empowerment statements or bodied statements, whatever, um, if they will reflect the quadrants that we talked about as far as
Well,
like
so
mental
I
health.
feel would be in the second quadrant. Each quadrant has three.
Oh, wait, so what's oh yeah, you're right. It's a
I
quadrant.
think if I remember correctly, quadrant two is internal and the other. So not the self, the other. Internal and the other.
Internal and the other.
And
Okay,
if
so
we're thinking of fourth house, I mean that's like internal like your home, but it's the other like your family, but it's still internal. You're
yeah.
still inside your family kind of thing.
Which is very Cancerian too.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. These powers, whatever these call these astro statements, are like very interesting to me.
Yeah. So going to the archetypes. I'm curious your thought on this because I haven't found, actually, you already kind of touched on this a bit. Brendan says I do this thing, and I do this. I will start a sentence, and then I'll go back and preface it before I've said my sentence, and then I'll go back and preface my preface, and so I haven't actually said my point, but I've prefaced it to death. I do that all the time.
I've never really
Oh, have
noticed.
you not? Okay.
Now I probably will.
Now it's gonna drive you crazy. But so okay, so you mentioned this at the beginning that I'm gonna get back to that. But the archetypes, I feel like I don't initially I didn't love the Cancer archetypes, and it's not that I disliked them. I just felt like I feel like there's more, and I just feel like I haven't discovered the more that I feel like fits right. Because your typical ones are the mother, and the homemaker, and those are kind of the couple that I know that are kind of like the biggest, and that's kind of it that I know of. Like I
That's
almost
it.
that's the thing. I don't want to misrepresent it, but those are the ones I know. I'm gonna quickly Google Cancer archetype because I know that there are others. Like I liked what you brought up earlier. You brought up Cancers are also coaches and your bosses, and I thought that was interesting because like yeah, and those are archetypes associated with Capricorn, but I think that's also kind of like
I
if
think
it's
not boss, like not boss. I don't
okay.
think of cancers as bosses, but like a teacher. Like I think of cancer as like the kindergarten teacher or like a coach, like somebody who's willing. So like yeah, not boss, but like coach energy or like therapist energy, like somebody who's gonna listen and be able to like share. Maybe not therapist, but like somebody who's going to like actively coach somebody into like becoming their best selves.
I actually like therapist. I think that's a decent one.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
It was intuitive, and then I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I like that one because Cancer, I would say, invites a lot in, and like, of course, that can be detrimental, as with really any feminine side. But yeah, Cancer invites a lot in, and I feel like a therapist. And Cancer is also, I would say, I don't want to say control. What am I thinking? Compared to Pisces, Cancer has a much better hold on their emotions and more control of their emotions. So as far as
Yeah.
like a therapist has control and emotions and deals with emotions. So I actually feel
And
like
an
that fits pretty well.
understanding, I think. Like, I think a Cancer,
Cancer has a high emotional intelligence.
yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with being a cardinal sign, just being able to like move forwards and not get stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think that makes sense. Protector, nurturer. I
Yeah,
like nurturer better than
caretaker.
mother, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Caretaker, homemaker. I think homemaker is like a nester.
Yeah. And then with Cancer versus Capricorn. So Capricorn is on the axis with Cancer, so it's right across from it. So Cancer, again, is the cardinal water sign ruled by the moon. Capricorn is the cardinal earth sign ruled by Saturn. For your own visualization and for what is fun, Mars, Mars and Venus oppose each other in the charts. Jupiter and Mercury oppose each other, and then the Sun and Moon oppose Saturn. So that's fun.
Oh.
Yeah. So Cancer is more about the things we're feeling and the roots, and I kind of think of more like the roots underground. And then Capricorn is more about the above ground structures, but still rooted. And thinking sequentially, Capricorn is after Cancer. So the things that Cancer does have to come first. You have to build the roots before you can have anything above land. But Capricorn is still grounded and is still rooted. I think Capricorn is more serious. I think the way that these two signs care for other people is also a little bit different. I see Cancer as the like, I will take care of you, I will keep you safe, I love you, and expresses these, expresses them out loud. Whereas Capricorn, I think, is less likely to engage with vulnerability. Capricorn is less likely to say I love you out loud, but Capricorn still shows love in different ways. Still Capricorn, they wouldn't say this out loud, but they're the ones that are like, I work hard and I put a roof over your head and I fed you and I do all those things and I kept you safe and I did all of that and I do all of that because I love you, even though they won't say it out loud. And
It's like the acts of, it's the, what did I say? The acts of service, love language.
yeah.
I feel like it's both a Cancer and a Capricorn, whereas the Cancer is going to show it by like baking you cookies and being at home and creating like a really beautiful space that you feel safe and loved in. And the Capricorn is going to show acts of service by being the one that's like working really hard
Mhm.
to, make sure that you feel secure in like a very grounded, realistic way.
Yeah, and I think going with like grounded and realistic, like I think that kind of goes into, and then the Saturn thing too. Like Cancer is so much more quick and more likely and more comfortable telling someone that they love them, and Capricorn is just much more serious. Capricorn is more cold. And it doesn't mean that there isn't love there, but Capricorn just expresses it a lot differently than Cancer. Cancer is considered more clingy. That would be another keyword, actually, is clingy.
Okay.
Capricorn is known to be more emotionally distant. I like what I wrote here. I also feel like when you have a problem, Cancer will invite you to come sit down, make you a tea, give you a hug, and invites you to just sit and talk about your issues. And Capricorn is the one who's going to listen to your issue and also while you're speaking, start thinking of how can I fix this and then go take actions on that.
Mm.
And you need both. Like you need someone who's going to listen to you and you need someone who's going to do something, but also at the wrong time. Those either of those could be detrimental kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I have this visual to compare Cancer with the other water signs and I think you're going to love this. So Cancer is a lake. And it's a large body of water that is held by the earth on all sides. It's vast, but it's not endless. Scorpio, which is our fixed water sign, Scorpio is similar to the lake. I think most people will probably say Scorpio is a swamp because Scorpio is still water, it's fixed water. Actually, I like the swamp visual too because a swamp has like algae and stuff sitting on the top layer, so you can't see what's under it. I think that's very
Mm.
Scorpio. So your brain comes up with like an image of what's under the surface there, and you just kind of
Yeah.
go with that. But the Scorpio, the actual body of water that is Scorpio, goes deeper and deeper, and there's caves and there's nooks and crannies, and it just keeps going, and it's not what you thought it was when you were just looking at the surface.
Am I the only one that like when you say swamp, I'm like, get out of my swamp? Like,
I
no,
do love
yes,
Shrek.
Shrek. I love Shrek. Anyway, what
Anyway,
sign is Shrek? What is Shrek's sun sign?
oh gosh, okay, Aries. It could be Aries. Could not Taurus. Not Gemini. Could be Cancer. Not Leo. Not Virgo. Not Libra. Not
You
Scorpio.
think Sag?
I don't think Sag.
Okay.
But he went on a Sag journey. I would definitely say that.
Did he was like the
Yeah.
hero in Sag, and he's like he actually ends up being this like giant lovable thing.
I think he might be Aries. I'm thinking Aries, Cancer, Capricorn. Because if anything, because Aries too exalted, the sun is exalted in Aries, and that's the hero's journey.
Hmm.
Anyway, to let us know what you all think. What sun sign is Shrek? But then the Pisces is the ocean. It's endless. It just keeps going and going and going, and it morphs into all the other connected oceans and bodies of water. So it's changing, but it's everywhere, and it's all the water.
I love that.
Yeah, I felt like you'd like that one.
I did like that one.
And then we have our other cardinal signs. We've already talked about Cancer and Capricorn. Those are two cardinal signs. Our other two cardinal signs are Aries and Libra. So Aries and Libra, but I'm going to talk about Aries first. They're both external, while Cancer is internal. And that's because Aries and Libra are masculine, whereas Cancer is feminine. So Aries is like, what can I go do? What can I actively do to keep everyone safe? And Cancer is more like, everyone get inside here. It's safe in here. And Cancer also kind of like has that imagery of like enveloping. Kind of like what you're saying with the glyph and how it's like it's holding. Yeah, so Cancer is the house. Cancer, like I feel like anything, and you know what I say, I feel like all of us witchy spiritual people are totally gonna vibe with me and understand what I'm saying, but anything that just like holds, like the cauldron, a house, the actual womb, an oven, Just anything that holds something
Like a
is,
container.
yeah, is very Cancer, and it's the enveloping, and Aries doesn't envelop. Aries doesn't hold. Aries moves forward, and actively does things. I would say Cancer and probably Libra too, not as much, but a little bit, have more of like the need for belonging than an Aries does. Actually, out of all the cardinal signs, I think Aries is going to be the one that is like, I need to go my own way, and honestly, is out of those four is the least concerned with belonging. I would say because Cancer is the water and the moon, it's emotions, it wants the connection in the relationships. Libra is air, it socializes, it's Venus. Those things want to connect. Saturn, or not Saturn, Capricorn, earthy, feminine, and also I would say like wants to connect for the sake of like, this is how I can like protect my lineage and protect my loved ones through connection, which again goes on kind of another tangent because the human species survived because we were social. If we did not learn to depend on each other and to create communities, people would not have evolved. That was a little tangent, and now I'm kind of lost.
Wait, where were you going with that? I want to stay on that thread. Where were you going?
Just like, so the way evolution works, you get rewarded. Whoever has offspring gets rewarded. So the ones that don't procreate, their genes die out. They don't pass them on. And so the people that became social and that learned to connect with other people, they're the ones that survived, and they're the ones that created more humans who then had genes for being social and went on to make more humans that learned how to be social. Same with like cats. Like cats who learned to be nice to humans survived and went on to have more cat babies.
Okay.
Are you
Wait,
picking
how do
up what
you
I'm
bring
putting
that?
down?
I do, but how do you bring that back to the Capricorn?
Oh, I was just saying Capricorn like protects its lineage. I guess because I was thinking Capricorn more from like almost like a business standpoint. Like it's not the emotional connection to people, it's the transactional, I will help you because you're going to help me.
Okay. Okay.
And you need that to survive as a race. I guess that's what I was saying. That's where I went on that tangent.
As a species, as a race.
Okay. I also wrote, I would say Aries is more physically brave and courageous, while Cancer is more emotionally brave. And that goes back to the vulnerability. A lot of people obviously struggle with vulnerability, and Cancers can too, but the archetype of Cancer is more open to vulnerability. Honestly, I almost don't even want to say open. Sometimes I feel like it's more just like forced into a life where you have to be vulnerable. So take that where you want.
Fate versus free will.
Yeah. Oh God, what an episode we could do on that. um, Libra involves a lot more logic than Cancer. Cancer is more intuitive and goes with what feels right. And Libra is more like, well, let's think about what's right. What is fair and what is just. Let's consider everything. And again, Cancer is like, I feel this, so I go with this. I think Libra is more concerned with what other people think than a Cancer, whether they admit it or not. Libra, I think, has more of a balance between, and pun intended, balance, between wanting to hear you out and also wanting to come up with a solution. So kind of like I said, like Cancer wants to sit down and listen to you. Capricorn is like, I'm going to go fix this for you. And Libra is a little bit in the middle there of like, I'm going to hear you out and I'm also thinking of what to do.
That's a lot to think about.
As a Cancer, I mean, how did this stuff hit you? And like, your sun sign and your rising sign are completely different things, but you're also a Libra rising, so that's on that not quadrant. They're squaring each other. So as I've compared it to a bunch of other signs, just what are your feelings as a Cancer?
I think that everything you said feels very aligned and accurate. I think that it feels like Cancer is in this like little box. When I think about like our conversations with about Gemini and Taurus, like it feels like there was so much more to talk about. And with Cancer, it feels like, and I think we're starting to like, and we have a little bit in the episode, like dove a little bit deeper into like what this Cancer is, but maybe it's just I've been stuck in this idea of what a Cancer is, and to like explore outside of that feels like even the archetypes. So like all the archetypes feel like synonyms of each other, kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like homemaker, nurturer, which didn't feel like the case for some of the other signs.
I agree with
And
that.
I just like don't know why. Like it's interesting.
I know, and it's like part of me, of course, wants to blame men for everything. And I'm just like, it's like obviously it's not the only feminine sign, but it's the sign. And again, too, if you're looking at natural houses, it's the house of the home and domestication, and it's also traditionally ish, maybe not super traditional. Some people say the fourth house is the mother. I lean towards the 10th house is the mother, but some people, especially before, would say that the fourth house was the mother. So I'm just kind of like, is this like an anti-woman problem? I don't know. Like I kind of don't want
Hmm.
to say that because I'm like, we have other feminine signs. There's lots of other things.
But there's something about the Cancer being like this, yeah, this like mother nurturer connected with the moon that like feels like there's more facets to Cancer that gets forgotten about. Almost kind of like when you think about Aphrodite and like which is Venus, right? So different energy, but also I guess a feminine energy where it's just like maybe over time it's just lost some of the duality to it. Like we talked, I think we talked a little bit and I have the Evo Dominguez Jr. Cancer Sun Sign book. So like I definitely was reading that a little bit before this. And I think one of the things it did talk about this like protector archetype. And so I think that's something that gets a little bit like that's sort of the duality for me, right? Like there's this homemaker mother, but like the mama bear energy, right? Like this joke of mama bear, it's truly like a protector. And I think a Cancer could turn very aggressive if they need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting because I think a lot of that does get left out of the conversation in the mainstream.
What just came to my mind too, because this is the first sign we're reviewing or deep diving into reviewing. The first sign we're deep diving into where the ruling planet doesn't also rule another sign, so it doesn't have that
Mm.
second face essentially. But that's more on the planet though. The planet has the two signs, but I'm curious because our next sign will be Leo, which is ruled by the sun, and the sun only rules Leo. I'm curious if maybe we'll find if we'll have a similar feeling with Leo. We'll see.
Interesting.
I also
Yeah.
wanted to
It's a
mention the essential dignities and what planets have dignity in Cancer. So the moon, as we talked about, rules Cancer. So the moon is at home in Cancer, and the moon has everything it needs in Cancer. So it has all the resources it needs, and it's not very challenged here. Saturn is in detriment in Cancer. So I think that's kind of just like the very serious, cold mindset, I guess, of Capricorn is uncomfortable in Cancer and has to really grow from that. And then Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so we love to see that. And then Mars is in fall in Cancer.
Jupiter's still in Cancer right now, right?
Yes.
Till when? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head. It's coming up pretty soon. It's going to move to Leo.
Sad.
Yeah, it was a good year. So now that we've talked all about Cancer, and as you are a Cancer, can you tell us how we can magically connect with Cancer?
Yes. So I was thinking about like what to bring up here because I think there's very obvious like water connections. So like you could take a bath. But I think a very powerful thing that a Cancer can do for themselves and like to connect with magic is shielding work. So
That's a
the
good one.
world, yeah, I was like, the world be freaking rough out there. And just even personally, right? Like cancers are just such natural empaths and we just like slurp it all up and we take it all in. And, we're the crab. We have literal shells that need to be like rebuilt every so often.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think like a Cancer, when they feel very safe and happy, have this open aura that makes us really susceptible. So, what are your first thoughts on that, Jordan?
I was just thinking, I feel like I'm tired and so my face isn't showing it, but I actually really love this. I think this is like a really cool connection.
Thank you.
Yeah.
and I kind of, for our listeners, like who may not be as magically inclined, I wanted to, why are you
I
laughing?
don't know, just like they're disabled. Like the mad, like you did, like it's like a bad word, and you like came up with a new politically correct way to say like the magically uninclined.
Are newbies to the witchcraft. So ways you can build shields around yourself. There are so many different ways. A lot of people, visualization is where they go to. So I'm a big visualizer when it comes to shields, and it can be visualizing a bubble. It could be visualizing walls. I tend not to do walls because walls are like really hard to take down, and I like the fact that I'm open, so I try not to do walls. But I do, you could do armor that you could like visually then take off. Some people do visualize like a light around themselves. So what I think is a really good practice is to be able to like before you go out into the world, kind of just like take some deep breaths and be able to like take a few moments to just visualize this shield around you. If you don't like this idea or it's just not something you've done before, you can also like wear a certain oil or perfume that makes you feel protected and shielded. A piece of jewelry. I definitely have specific jewelry that I'll wear when I know I'm going to be in a difficult situation. It's like obsidian and moonstone actually, and it's in the shape of like the evil eye. So I know that that's like my protection. So anything you feel magically connected to, it could be a certain crystal. Like there's people I know that like they don't deal with like the witchcraft or magic, but like they're still very attracted to certain crystals and will use those. So just find what connects with you to be able to like have that protection. But that's very like Cancerian. I keep saying Cancerian. Is that a word?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Cancerian, that's very Cancerian magic, I think.
Yeah. I love that. And then what about the tarot card?
Okay. Cancer was a tarot card. Do you know what it is, Jordan?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be the chariot, and at first I was like,
Another thing that
"That's
holds.
yeah." I was like, also though, it was wild because I was like, "Wait, does that make sense?" Because the chariot's like your armor and your victory, and that was my initial reaction before we did like more research and the deep dive into Cancer because I afterwards I was like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. Because right, Cancer, we're thinking of this like softer moon ruled water sign, right? Where the chariot's like, yay, victory, moving forwards. But like, here's the thing, Cancer is not, as we've talked about, like that soft energy. They feel deeply, they're ruled by the moon, it's tied to home and the mother and memory and all of these like beautiful, beautiful water things. But it's also one of the most tenacious signs in the whole zodiac. So the crab has the shell for a reason, right? Like it's about the chariot's going to be about emotional mastery. It's not like the absence of feelings. It's trying to hold on to the feeling and move forwards anyway, no matter how hard it is. So this card, right? If you look at like the classic chariot card, it's not about like charging ahead because of whatever. It's not like a reckless experience. It's because like you're channeling the things and moving forwards. Like the chariot is a very, it's not the fool energy of like moving forwards. It's like you're grounded, you know what's up, and you're still going to move forwards. So, you know, if you're too emotional or have been told you're too emotional, like that chariot is going to be like, no, this is your power. This is the Cancer energy and you've got it. What do you think, Jordan?
I love that. I'm still pretty obsessed with it's another container. I think it was, I mean, it happens every so often. I think around the time when I got into astrology, or the time where I got like really deep into like, now I know astrology and now I'm diving deeper. I believe Mars was in Cancer. And so I remember at the time I was reading a lot about Mars in fall in Cancer. And I know a lot of people, a few people, in my family with Mars in Cancer. So I had researched it a lot then too. And it kind of makes me think about this because the biggest thing that was coming up was like Mars in Cancer is a tough home defender kind of thing.
Yeah.
And armor was another thing that came up with Mars in Cancer. So I think I was thinking a lot about that while you were saying this.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
So now we've really gotten to know Cancer. Should we go into our game?
Game, 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 game.
So today, for our game, we're gonna play our famous "What Would Cancer Do" game. So I'm gonna ask
What
you
would Ember
five.
do?
I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, I paused because I was like, "Cue what would Ember do?" So yeah, what would Ember do slash the archetype of Cancer. So Cancer asks how you're doing, and the person responds with "I'm fine" in just a neutral tone. What does Cancer do? What does Cancer say next?
You're not fine. What's wrong?
Your friend forgot your birthday.
Oh my God. I've had this happen to me and I get so mad. I'm like, they don't care about me. Like they don't, and it depends on the friend, right? If there's somebody that like I know is really busy or like has kids and they're running around, like I kind of am more forgiving. But if it's somebody where like if you forgot my birthday, Jordan, I'd be really upset.
And I'll say too, of all people, like remembering birthdays is like such a high priority of mine. So
I
don't even worry
love
about
that.
it. Your ex texts you "Hey" out of nowhere.
I don't know. I'd probably be like, sup.
Do you think that's the Cancer part of you? Because I was like, I came up with this and I was kind of like, you know what? I don't know what a Cancer would do. I'm really curious what Ember's gonna say.
I mean, my first thought, right, is that it depends on the ex. Are they like
Sure.
a jolted, like horrible ex, or are they somebody
Let's
you
say
like
let's say
part
like fairly neutral. Like you're not friends. You didn't keep up. Maybe the breakup wasn't fun, but it wasn't. There was no abuse.
the nostalgia, baby? It would get you talking. Like 100%
Yeah.
that nostalgia would kick in. And you'd
Okay.
be like,
That makes sense.
I wouldn't ignore them. I'd be like, hello.
Hey. Your favorite mug breaks.
Oh my God. My partner fixed it.
Did that happen?
Honestly, it was at the time it was my favorite. It's not anymore. But it was this Disney mug I got from Animal Kingdom that was like the Mickey Mouse sign, but it had all different animal print all over it and it was like a really big mug that was so good for like drinking coffee and the handle snapped off of it and I was so upset and then Trevor fixed it for me and I was like, "Yay." So I would be very like attached to it.
We have a favorite mug. And Brendan did drop it once, and it chipped. It's still functional. But we got it. It was my mom and I went to New York City to see Phantom of the Opera front row. Brendan and I had been together for like I think 6 weeks at that point. This was 2017, and I got him this mug while we were in New York. So it's the first thing I ever got him, and
Oh,
it's also like a pretty big mug. We call it good for soup mug.
good for soup
Yeah.
or lots of coffee.
Or lots of coffee. The last one, a friend says they're coming over in 30 minutes. What do you do? What does a Cancer do?
I would be like, do I have food? Do I have drinks? Like what's do I have things to entertain this person?
I like that. Okay. Okay, so now that we've had our whole deep dive into Cancer, how are you feeling? I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about like feeling like there's like almost like a dual part of Cancer that's like a little bit missing right now.
I think
Other
this
reflection.
it's this protector nurturer. Like I think that's the duality, right? It's this like I think Cancer can be a warrior in some way, right? For the people they love and for the right circumstance and the right situation. And they're also this like nurturing, they're like the person that would like slay the bad guy and then like stitch him up afterwards
Yeah.
and be like, go on. They'll do the defending and then be like, okay, like now go home and never come back here again. Like,
Yeah. Hmm. Have you seen Handmaid's Tale? I feel like you probably haven't watched it.
I haven't.
For anyone who has, I'm thinking June is a Cancer. And if you've seen it, you'd probably agree.
Whether you're just beginning your journey with astrology or you're just curious about the universe, we are so happy you are here to join us.
Yes, and if you have any comments or questions, we love hearing from you, and we are loving this process of building a community of astrology students. Everything we do and offer is linked in the show notes. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Cancer as much as we did. Next time, we will be coming at you with another one of our famous other-sodes before we continue on with our deep dive through the zodiac. This podcast is my practice of asking big questions, uncovering the hidden truths, and creating an accessible space for others to do the same.
And I'm so grateful to be learning alongside Jordan and all of you, sharing our resources and diving into what it means to connect with the cosmos. Thank you so much for being part of this, and we'll see you back in the study room every other Tuesday.